Good afternoon. I'm Brandon D. Johnson, and this is the American Poetry Museum. First, I'll start with, please give applause to Vince Evans on piano, Jay Jefferson on drums, and Maestro Don Pepe Gonzalez on bass. This is our second reading this year. After a year and a half of hiatus, and you know why. I won't go into a long thing about that since I did that last time, but I will ask everyone for 5 seconds to think about those folks that you'd like to remember, starting now. Thank you. Today, our readers are Charity Blackwell and Kenneth Carroll. Miss Charity Blackwell is a spoken word artist, host, MC, and poetry specialist who has spent several years contributing to the arts scene in DC and across national platforms. She is a Trinity University graduate where she received her BA and MA for communications. She is the director of creative arts and education at the arts and sports nonprofit DC Scores and the director of poetry events at Busboys and Poets. Since her early college days, Ms. Blackwell's natural stage presence and charm have led her to many hosting opportunities, including events like the national competition for slam poetry out loud, Busboys and Poets, and many more. Ms. Blackwell has performed her original work on international networks such as BBC News, DC United's Audi Field for the game opener, the Women's Sports Foundation, Major League Soccer Network, the Lincoln Theater, the Kennedy Center, the Hirshhorn Museum, Doc 5, and numerous stages across DC and the East Coast. It's apparent Ms. Blackwell is present and prescient in her work as she thinks about the future and youth. From the end of her poem, "Our lessons are our legacies. Memories are a gift." How you choose to use your memories, whether you keep them locked up and sealed, tight shut, or unwrap them, is completely up to you. We all have learned many lessons. Memories shape who you are, but we get to choose how to do that. Will they propel you towards your passion or your purpose? Or will they be the key to help you unlock the next chapter of your story? Think carefully about that, how you will choose to use your precious memories, because who you are today can be someone else's lesson tomorrow. Kenneth Carroll.
Bro, if my bio was that long, I'm gonna stop you. I'm gonna tackle you.
Based in Washington, D.C., both Kenny Carroll, poet Kenny Carroll is, and I was going to say both Kenny and Kenneth, is the author of poetry collection So What for the White Dude Who Said This Ain't Poetry.
Yeah.
He has been a contributor to Beltway magazine, and his work is included in the anthologies In Search of Color Everywhere, American Poetry, The Next Generation, and The Lion Speaks, an anthology for Hurricane Katrina. Mr. Carroll has received the Washington, D.C. Mayor's Arts Award for service to the arts, the Literary Friends of Washington Award, and a literary fellowship from the D.C. Commission on the Arts and Humanities. Active as a teacher in arts organizations, Carroll has been coordinator and director of the D.C. Writers Corps and was a founding member of 8 Rock Writers Collective and a past president of the African American Writers Guild. Mr. Carroll has done a great work with the United Planning Organization, concentrated on young people in D.C. and job training. Now, short bios aside, I have to say that Kenny's accomplishments as a presence and a poet in the D.C. area exceed the words of such. Kenny is a conscience, an always hard-hitting truth teller about situations past and present, words that guide and remind, or more pointedly, tell you what's up and what you better not forget. From So What is the poem Dolomite Meets George Bush for Brian Gilmore. Kick out his grill, spill some James Brown sweat on his cold, pale heart, slam his hand in the door of a 75 caddy with rusted hinges, wash him and his flag in some lye, stick a diamond needle in his eye, then drop it on the reggae track, the one with all that bottom, slap him with an old Fender bass, tie an English-only sign to his nose, and drop him off at Barrio El Diablo. Ball up your fist and hit him with a short poem. Let his ass know that he done landed on Mr. Gilmore's property. Come on up here.
Yeah.